Hey, it's Bill here, and here's my thoughts on a 6-5 victory for the Toronto Maple Leafs over the Pittsburgh Penguins in what I will refer to as the Jekyll and Hyde game of the year. First of all, it's a Sunday afternoon. The Leafs play on Saturday night. It's the opposite of Saturday night, maybe Sunday afternoon. First period, you're shooting a team 13-2 after 10 minutes, and you then, by the end of the period, have been outshot 16-14. Everything was good and bad. The game was entertaining. It definitely was entertaining for bits. And then it was on the boards, nonsense, boring for the other parts. You had exciting and then not exciting. You had Matthew Knies make a horrible play with Johnny T doing a flyby. Johnny T! You Johnny T fans, I know he got the breakaway. We'll talk about that in a second. That was a horrible, the fourth goal. Matt Knies doesn't get it deep. Johnny T does a flyby, and it's in the back of the net. The next thing you know, Matt Knies makes an amazing play at the end of the second period to give the lead, and Johnny T gets a breakaway. The game made no sense. I don't even, I'm hoping that this is not the norm. You can't, it was exciting, okay, but then it was boring. He had Joseph Woll have his worst game of the year, while the other goalie didn't play well at all. It was a crazy game. It started off like it was going to be a rout. Right off the bat, looked like a misplay with... I'll tell you something, Pittsburgh's defense is one of the most atrocious defense I've seen in a long time. And I've seen some 1980s and 1990s, late 90s and mid-2000, 2010 Toronto Maple Leaf defense. The Pittsburgh Penguins defense is right up there. There was one guy that I would say didn't play bad. What was his name? Shea or something like that? Shea. That guy looked all right. The other defenseman, wow. And this one, Blomqvist puts it to Greaves. Greaves goes the wrong. Why would you cut across your own net if you're a defenseman? When there's a Toronto Maple Leaf player there, it looked like the goalie played that correctly. You played into the corner. Ryan Reaves. I'm thinking Ryan Reaves. I'll give you a Ryan Reaves report in just a second. But Graves, or whatever his name is, cuts across the net. And then he taps it behind the net. Next thing you know, it's out front of the net. And Domi gets a tap in for his 30th birthday. He gets his first goal in some ungodly amount of games. Okay, great. There's another one. You want Jekyll and Hyde? Third line. Awesome in the offensive zone. Disgusting in the defensive zone. And then the Leafs, shortly after that, Pontus Holmberg makes a pass over to Connor Timmins and roofs it. And you're up 2-0. And the shots on net are 13-2. This looks like it's going to be like an 8-0. Have a good day. The Leafs need the 2 points. Take it to the bank. Easy win for everybody. And then they fell asleep. And it started with Nylander. Jekyll and Hyde game. Nylander, horrible on the first goal, scores the overtime winner. On this goal, this is the first goal that I knew we're in trouble. The Leafs are not going to have this is not going to be a nice walk in the park. It starts off with behind the net, around the corner, and you have Johnny T, who, I see this stat, it drives me crazy, okay? You people that want to sign Johnny T for $6 to $7 million a year, are you kidding me? You've got to be kidding me. I'm watching a different game than all of you, and that's fair enough. You can disagree with my opinion or agree with it. I don't care. There's someone out there who thinks I really actually care about his opinion. Johnny T isn't... he won 200-something board. I'd love to know these 200 board battles he wins. Could you just show them to me, please? Because I can make up a fantasy stat. I can make up a fantasy stat I can do 100 meters in less than 11 minutes or 11 seconds running. I can make up stats like that. If no one can show me the evidence of it, it's a great stat. I'll just tell you the stat. Show it to me. Because on the first goal, both him and Holmberg lose the board battle. See, that's a loss. I'd love to know how many lost. Maybe instead of how many did he win, how many has he lost? Because he can't skate, so he's always in a board battle. It goes around, and Nylander, just lazy as all can be, just blows the zone, doesn't take his defense, which I think it was, who scored the first goal? Well, it might have been Shea. Well, it says Cody Glass off Ryan Shea, okay. So Glass must have tipped it. Ryan Shea rips it home 1-2-1. And what, like a minute and 2 seconds after that, Raquel scores. Like, what are we? And then you got and this one, like Wall. I don't want to harp on Wall because I like Wall a lot, but he had a bad game. He overplays a shot from the point. But how does Raquel just like leak like that and be wide open on the far boards? Laziness. The Leafs got lazy. Now it's 2-2. Then Max Domi, who scores a goal, okay? And then Mini Domi shows up and takes 2 stupid penalties. And on one penalty, Sidney Crosby rips it short side on Joseph Wall, and it's 3-2. How do I explain that period to anybody? You just chalk it up. You got 2. We should walk away 2 points. Happy as 2. We should be all happy. All happy. You got 2 points when you had a Jekyll and Hyde game. You got to win those ones. And then you got Austin Matthews. Here's another Jekyll and Hyde. Austin Matthews scores the goal to make a 3-3 on a friggin' crazy shot. The puck went in or came out of the net faster than it went in. Right between the legs of Blomqvist. But then he was awful on the 5th goal, where Raquel scored. It just never stopped. It was ridiculous. Jekyll and Hyde game. But Matthews makes it there, and then you have the Matthew Nyes, Johnny T blow-bys, and the next thing you know, it's Brian Rust, and I don't know how Oliver Ekman-Larsson played that, but that ain't the way to play it. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and then he played good for the game. Like, it just was, they played bad and good at the same time. And across the net, and Walsh can't get it and across. And then you had the craziness at the end of the period. Your first one was Johnny T. This is where I will say, if I were the coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins, I could not stop beating Erik Karlsson with a stick. I would not stop beating him. I would take a Titan. You want one of those old wooden sticks. You don't want any of the... And you splinter his ass. I cannot believe how bad Erik Karlsson played in this game. It's embarrassing bad. You pay this guy 9 points. I understand now why everyone you cannot have this kind of player on your team. He does a line change where he doesn't take a stride to change. And Johnny T, the guy who can't skate, Johnny T, was able to walk in alone because Erik Karlsson was still busy gliding for his line change. How do you glide for a line change when the puck is not owned by you? You get off the ice quick and get your defense. I mean, it might have been Shea. If I was Shea, I wouldn't stop beating him because I got a minus because of his ass. And, of course, breakaways against the goalies today, they can pretty much guarantee they're going in the net. And boom, Johnny T scores. And then the craziness at the end of the third period. Again, Karlsson. What are you doing? There's 5.7 seconds left. You win the draw. Okay, now let's talk about this. I was so pissed about that icing beforehand. I was screaming about that icing, but maybe it was a blessing in disguise. Jekyll and Hyde. Horrible icing turns into a goal. And Matthew Nyes. That is craziness. To be able to skate up the ice 5.7 seconds and rip it. And I don't know what Blomqvist was doing, but boom, and it's 5-4. You've got a 5-4 lead. You have no business being in a 5-4 lead, and you have a 5-4 lead because Erik Karlsson has maybe he's not done yet. Erik Karlsson's not done yet. He was like those are two. What was Karlsson? Karlsson had to be a minus. There's no way. Let me see Karlsson for. No, he was a 0. 27 minutes of ice time. Well, he helped the Leafs score 3 goals tonight, so I appreciate that, Karlsson. He's like the Bouchard of the team. You can't play with those defensemen. I'm sorry, you just can't. If the Leafs traded for Karlsson, I'd be a very unhappy person. So Nyes makes it unassisted. It's apparently unassisted. No, it was assisted. And then you have the start of the third period. You've just got a 5-4 lead, and 10 seconds in, you let Matthews goes on the wrong side of the puck. Horrible play by Matthews. You heard it from me. Horrible play. And it goes in the back of the net, and it's 5-5. Just shake your goddamn head. How in the world do you score 0.1 seconds left, and then you start off the period, and you play that about as poorly as you can? I think Riley really, really had a bad game, too. I'm trying to think of a good point for Riley. I don't have one. And it's 5-5. And then at the end... they're playing for, that's where the game got boring. They're kind of playing for overtime. And then Nylander, who's been lazy all game, is lazy on the play. He really doesn't do much. He rips a shot, and of course the last shot wins. And the Leafs win 6-5. We rejoice. We throw our hands up. We're at 2 points. We need them, considering I think Lightning have won, 15 in a row, whatever the hell they're doing. And Florida just traded for Seth Jones, so they're getting better. The Leafs have to get first in this conference to get like the Red Wings or Columbus. Do you want Columbus after what they've... But you can't. The Leafs want no part of... Can you imagine 3 teams, the Leafs, Florida, and Tampa Bay in the same... This is why the Leafs finally get good for the first time in like 50 years. And then they've got Boston. You got to survive Boston, Florida, and Tampa all having their little runs too. It's craziness in all the same division. Anyways, the Leafs win 6-5. I don't know how they did it. Jekyll and Hyde game. Oh, I forgot, folks. Your Ryan Reaves report. Why do they put this guy on the ice? I'm hoping he's not nowhere on the ice against San Jose tonight. It's a real shocking Ryan Reaves report. You wouldn't believe it. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 9 minutes and 35 seconds of ice time and 2 hits, apparently. I didn't see one. Useless. The definition of useless. You really report 0-1. He had 1 assist on the last goal, I guess, in overtime. And he was a -2. So he was awful. In 22 minutes of ice time, and he had 0 hits. Shocking. Really, he's been playing good. Really played really bad tonight. Jekyll and Hyde. Cheers.